The year was 2018 and I decided to go back to school to get a master's. I chose to do an MBA in Canada as it checked the most boxes for me. One of those boxes was money, more so the ROI or return on my investment. The MBA was going to cost over $100,000. Fast forward to 2021, I graduated from McGill University, a pretty well-reputed school in Canada. After scholarships, using all the money I had saved from years working before my MBA and some help from my parents, I graduated with about $50,000 in student loans. Now, whether it was worth it or not is a discussion to be had in another video. Today, we look at 5 strategies that I used to pay off my student loans in exactly 1 year. Before we begin, my name is Rohan and over the last few years, I've spent thousands of hours learning about personal finance and investing. Now I'm sharing my learnings to save you some time and fast track your financial journey. With that out of the way, let's get to the strategies. Strategy 1. Prioritize your debt like your life depends on it, because it does. Since I got the offer letter from the school, I never once stopped thinking about the debt. I always knew there would come a time when this would become my top priority. The reason was simple. My student loans were at a very high interest rate, 10.5%. So every year that I would delay paying off my debt would add additional 10.5% interest, and not forgetting the additional compounding effect that would take place as well. The way I saw it was, if I were to pay my debt in 1 year, it would account for about $2,900 in interest. Change that to 3 years and the interest is over $8,000. And 5 years could lead to $14,500 extra. As you can see, the more I would delay, the more I would have to pay in the future. Here's a fact: if you were to leave a $50,000 loan untouched at those rates, within 2 years your interest can rack up to more than $11,000. And within just 7 years, it more than doubles. This was my biggest motivation to pay off the loan as soon as possible. I wanted to ensure that I do not have to watch my money evaporate over time. Prioritizing meant that a lot of my daily actions would affect the debt repayment. I channeled all my time and energy towards actions that would accelerate the debt payoff. Living intentionally like my life depended on it. This of course required a certain level of discipline and dedication. The path towards being debt-free starts off pretty difficult, so use whatever method works for you. Whether it's journaling, using habit trackers, or finding friends that hold you accountable for your actions. And trust me, I tried all of them over that 1 year. Just remember, the more you maintain this debt-free mindset, the easier it becomes as time goes by, and eventually would lead to your freedom. This brings us to the second strategy, living frugally. This was the cornerstone of my journey. It involved a conscious effort to streamline my expenses, reduce wasteful spending, and make the most of every dollar that I was earning. I'm not the kind of person who requires a strict budget, but during this time I ensured that I was following a budget 90% of the time. Here are some of the things I was doing to reduce all non-essential spending. The biggest saver was cooking at home. Luckily for me, I enjoy cooking and also follow a good fitness regime, which made it easier for me to not eat out or order on DoorDash and Uber Eats. I also used public transportation, walked a lot, and never took a single Uber in that 1 year. During this time, I never bought anything that I wanted and only the things that I really needed. This brings us to the third strategy, delayed gratification, to redirect all available funds toward the debt. Any funds that would have gone into investments, savings, entertainment, or vacations were redirected toward the loan. The only thing that I did was put some money aside for emergencies and minimum contributions towards my retirement fund to ensure that I get the employer match. Delayed gratification was the most difficult part of that 1 year, especially because we live in the era of instant gratification. I put off going home because the tickets would cost a couple $1,000s, and I also delayed any trips that I wanted to take. This was also difficult because we were coming out of the lockdowns of 2020 and 2021 and everybody around me was traveling quite a bit. I also made sure that no expensive purchases were made, whether in cash or credit. One example of this is that I really wanted to get a new lens for my camera, and anybody who does photography knows that when you want a lens, you just do everything to get it. But again, the key here was focusing on the needs and not the wants. Before we talk about the fourth strategy, if you have found the video insightful, hit like and subscribe for more content. Also, stick around till the end for a bonus tip. Now back to the topic. The fourth strategy was increasing my income. This is something that I was doing throughout the time I was in school. The way I saw it was, any debt avoided is debt repaid in a way. While I was paying off my debt, I had a good and well-paying job, but I knew I could use the weekends to earn a little extra money. A few things that I did that ended up making me about $2,000 were writing resumes on Fiverr, helping people with their cover letters, and doing a few photography gigs. And of course, any additional income that was coming in was going toward the loan. There are plenty of jobs available in today's gig economy, so make sure you explore them. And remember, if you're in debt and want to get rid of it as soon as possible, just keep your ego aside and do whatever it takes to achieve that freedom. The fifth strategy was to make use of windfalls. Any unexpected or sudden inflow of cash was also going toward the debt repayment. In my case, because of the tuition credits under the tax system in Canada, I received a good sum of money in 2021 and all of it ended up going toward the debt. Generally speaking, if you receive any form of windfalls such as tax refunds, bonuses, or gifts from someone, make sure to use it wisely. Obviously, it's not as easy as it sounds because our general tendency is to treat ourselves with any unexpected funds. But remember, once you reach the end of your debt, you'll have full freedom to treat yourself and it'll feel way better. Now it's time for the bonus strategy. Although I put this in the end, this strategy is where it all begins. If you're someone who's about to take on a certain debt, student loans like I did, mortgages, auto loans, or even a personal loan, the tip is to make sure that debt is the right decision for you. Before committing to any debt, take the time to assess if it's the responsible choice for your current life situation. Consider the purpose of the debt. Is it an investment in your education, a necessity like a home, or something that can totally be avoided? Research the terms and interest rates associated with the debt to fully comprehend the financial choice you're making. This will also help you understand the strategies you might have to take when you start paying off the loan. For example, when I was planning for my MBA, I had certain estimates for how low my pay scale could be when I graduate, just in case things didn't go my way after graduating and I ended up with a not so well paying job. I'd also set a threshold for the minimum scholarship that was required for me to accept the offer from the school. And finally, how I would design a frugal life during and right after school. I was mentally and financially prepared for what was to come. The bonus tip isn't just an afterthought, it's the guiding principle that sets you off on the right foot. That was the last point, and contrary to what you might hear, debt is not inherently bad. I would say unplanned debt is bad. If you follow the basic strategies we discussed today and develop the right mindset, taking on debt will align with the long-term vision for your life and finances. Hope you liked the video, keep learning and stay on top of your finances. Until next time.